Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. I've done it again. I started with my video nice and small. How do I fix that? Oh, what a great way to start. Hello there, everybody. So nice to see you. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Dan. I'm here at this beautiful Sellersville Theater. And thank you for joining me on Soundbooth Sessions. This is our weekly live stream show where we feature a concert and conversation with one of our favorite artists. Of course, you know why you're here. Of course, tonight we have the wonderful Craig Thatcher and Nyke Van Wyk joining him. I am very excited to hear the guys play for you this evening. So this is our very first Friday night show. We'll see how you compare with the Saturday night crowds. They've been boisterous and supportive and positive and generous. So let's see. At the very end, we'll compare notes and we'll see how Friday compares to Saturday. So of course, everybody, before we start, I want to give a big thank you to the Sellersville Theater members and the Sellersville Theater sponsors. At the beginning there, you saw a pre-show slideshow of a bunch of our big supporters. And of course, times right now are difficult for everyone, and we are no exception. And it is only through the support of our members and our sponsors that we are able to keep the lights up and the music playing. So I want to thank you if you are currently a theater member or a theater sponsor. I haven't seen who's in the crowd tonight, but if you are a member or sponsor, please raise your hand and let us know. And I suspect that we're going to see some of our big sponsors here tonight. I know Doug and Marcella Metzger and yes. Martha Otto are particularly a fan of this evening's performers. So hope to see you in the comments, guys. And for the rest of you, the ways that you can support us this evening are, there's many of them. Of course, you can click, you can comment, and of course you can contribute. So if you look down in the comments section, I've pinned a note that has a bunch of links you can follow to contribute to Craig and Nyke and to Sellersville Theater. And of course, there are also links down there for Sellersville Theater membership and sponsorship. With that said, this evening there is a suggested donation of $20, which is about what you would pay to see these fine gentlemen live on our stage. Of course, you can see them through some of their other live streams. They also play on Wednesday nights up at Arts Quest, and they will be at Music Fest on August 7th. So I'm excited for a great show tonight. I'm sure you are too. So enough from me. Let's hear from the guys. Please get your clickers hovering over the clap emoji and click feverishly to help me welcome to the Sellersville Theater Facebook page, Craig Thatcher and Nyke Van Wyk.
Well, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that intro. Way up north, by the icebound ocean, I was born. I was born way up north in the Merrimack County. That's my home, that's my home. I was younger and in my schooling I walked a mountain made of stone. It just didn't sang all about tomorrow. And I did wish I was grown gone. Well, as I grew, indeed I rambled out along the open road. There I learned all about the rainbow circle. It's truly said that's a sign of storm. Well, now I'm old, my dreams have wandered far away. Yesterday, I'm going back to the Merrimack County, find the grass that hides my home. So let the birds fly down the valley, let the storms rage on the sea. Was born to the rainbow circle, Stony Mountain, she's home to me. That Stony Mountain, she's home to me. Right.
Oh, that's very nice.
Thank you.
Craig.
Thank you. Thank you.
Craig and Nyke. How are you guys?
We're doing great. I just wish there were people in the audience.
Oh, I know. I know.
But we say hello to you all out there. Martha and Doug and Marcy and Malcolm And everybody else who's listening in tonight, we thank you and appreciate you taking your time to join us.
Yeah, there's some other names to shout out. I see Dan and Kathy Sign in the
Dan and
crowd.
Kathy, we love you
And the
guys.
Denoyers, of course. Oh, there's a Tina Perry Pastor, Bill Slade, Bill and Don Slade, of course. A lot of people in the crowd. They're clapping, guys.
Oh, we hear it. We hear it. We can hear it. Clap really, really loud.
That's right. Guys, it is so nice to see you. Of course, you are no strangers to our stage. We were talking about it beforehand, and I think we estimate that you've been here, like 18 times
Something
before?
like that, yeah.
Before. It's a wonderful thing. It's so glad to have you here, even under these circumstances, right?
Yeah, it's just great to be out playing.
Yeah, of course. Now, what's your relationship with live streaming been? I know you've been doing some stuff.
Well, right away when this started, like within the first couple days.
It was before St. Patrick's Day. It was on the 15th, I think, of March.
Yeah, we did a live stream from PBS 39.
Yeah.
And, this was in the early stages of doing this live streaming for them and for us as well. But from the technical end, that aspect, it was pretty new for them. So it was a little quirky,
Well, we were talking about this too. It's like this has been. I have had quirks with 100% of the streams that we've done. Every single one of them has had.
This one's going to go really smooth tonight.
So far, I think it already hasn't. I think my voice wasn't in the mix for my whole intro, though. I think people could hear it because I've seen.
Geez.
But it wasn't. But you didn't need to know that. I didn't need to tell you that.
We can do it all over again if you want.
That's right. But Craig, is it true that you used to come here to see movies?
I used to come here when I was a kid because I was from Quakertown, which is just north of here. The big metropolis. Well, it is today. It's bigger than it was. Palace Theater was my theater. I went my very first date with a girl.
Where's that?
To the Palace
At the Palace Theater.
Yeah, and then they closed. They closed down, and so we came down here. We came down here to the Sellersville Theater to see movies.
Was your second date here at Sellersville?
I've been dating for a while by that time.
Okay.
But I did bring my wife here.
That's nice.
After we got married in 1980, the early 80s, my wife and I would come down, and we'd bring the kids down a little later. Sure.
Oh, that's nice.
Actually, I wasn't here when they were doing films, obviously.
No.
But I think Craig and I first met, I forget what year it was, like 2008. But actually, I came down. We met, and I played Music Fest with them shortly afterwards. But then the first show I'd come to see here was only a couple weeks after that. You were doing an Almond Brothers show here, and you gave me a ticket, and I was sitting about halfway through.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that was my first theater show, seeing you, but over here, too, in this area.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of fun stuff has happened in this room.
Oh, amazing stuff.
Actually, John Oates told the story when he played here that I think he had his first kiss in the back row, one of the back rows.
He's a really nice guy. I like
really is.
John. He's a very nice person.
He absolutely is. So guys, you have a new project that you're working on. I've heard that's with the two of you and Cliff Starkey.
And Clifford, yes.
Yeah. What's that about? What's?
Well, we did All You Need Is Love. We did a video for All You Need Is Love where we actually did it in our individual studios and then put it all together, and it went out for Mercy School in Allentown for their fundraiser, and that was early on as well.
Very early.
Huh.
And I said to the guys, I said, man, this is a new way of doing recording. We should do an album. And then about a week or two, or 10 days later, something like that, Nyke calls, all excited about, we got to do a record. We got to we got to do this. So we both had similar ideas, but he jumped on it a little more, and I just had a thought, and he ran with that, and then we started doing.
Yeah, it started with when all this kind of came to a close. We were trying to figure out what we could do to reach out to the people who we couldn't see in person. And,
Sure.
And I think the first idea was with the project was to kind of come up with something that we could do, and we chose to do. We were actually starting to work on a new record for the two of us. Mm-hmm. But then with all the restrictions and even the stay at home, it was tough to get us all into one place. So
Sure.
we came up with this idea to kind of do covers and to kind of take songs that we've played but we've manipulated and changed to be our own arrangements.
Yes.
And in that way, it wouldn't have to be so much in person, because a lot of times when you're writing a record, you want to be together, you want to be like working on writing together and working with new music. So we said let's put that record that we started working on hold, because we wanted to do that, and we also wanted to do a new Christmas record for this year, which we might.
Which we're going to hopefully do too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then we decided, we called in Cliff, and Craig reached out to him, and we wanted to do something with the three of us where we could put together this album of songs that we've played hundreds of times for everybody, but since we weren't able to perform for people live.
Plus some new ones.
Yeah, plus some really
I
new
told
stuff.
Martha the other night we've got some new songs on this record coming out. And
All
some very
right.
soulful tunes with Clifford's vocals.
All right.
Yeah.
So some of them will be like kind of true to form, to how
Yep.
you would know, and then some of them are arranged in a new way. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we get to hear some of them tonight.
Yeah.
What are you going to play for us now, gentlemen?
We're going to do a song that we've been doing for a long time, so I know several folks listening in have heard us do this 100 times. But it's See That My Grave Is Kept Clean from Blind Lemon Jefferson, and it's our arrangement of it. His lyrics, our arrangement of the song. And I just want to add, the guitar I'm playing right now is the brand new Martin SC13. I played this at the NAMM show in January out in Anaheim for about 6-7 hours a day. Very playable guitar. I got one kind of favor I'm gonna ask of you. Got one kind of favor asking you. Got one kind of favor I'm gonna ask of you. Won't you please see that my grave is kept clean? It is 2 white horses following me. But it's 2 white horses following me. 2 white horses, and they're following me. They're just waiting on my bed. Did you ever hear that coffin sound? Did you ever hear that coffin sound? Did you ever hear that coffin sound? Means another poor boy's gone to the ground. Did you ever hear that church bell sound? Oh, did you ever hear that church bell tone? Did you ever hear that church bell tone? Means another poor boy's and my heart stopped beating, and my hands they turned cold. You know my heart stopped beating, and my hands they turned so cold. My heart stopped beating, my hands they turned cold. And I believed in what the Bible told. Well, there's one last thing I'm gonna ask of you. There's one last thing I'm asking you. Got one last favor I'm gonna ask of you. Won't you please see that my grace is getting through? Nice
Oh, beautiful, guys. Beautiful.
Not the happiest of songs, but it's a cool tune, and we like to stretch it out at the end. And that little outro was a section that we just wrote in there, so he gets to solo on that.
Gets to ham it up.
We put that on our Valley to Their World.
Wait, before you put that guitar away, Craig, can you tell us a little bit more about it? What's Martin doing with that bad boy?
Well, this is this is the latest and greatest, and it's really the start of something. This guitar, the sales are on fire. You can't even order a new one now because they're all sold out until next year.
Oh.
And
It looks like it's an interesting shape.
it's a very interesting shape. It's a triple O depth.
Okay.
With a cutaway, which gives you great access all the way up above the 12th fret. The interesting thing is this neck and body, they join at the 13th fret. And the way that's placed in relationship to the bridge, it is a long scale guitar. That's Martin's long scale. However, the way it is kind of pushed down and the placement between the bridge and the relationship here and where the neck and the body join,
Right.
it feels like a short scale. So short scale is 24 3/4. And what that does is it allows you, there's less tension and less pressure on your fretting hand.
Okay.
So you can bend your notes a little easier. So you really have the best of both worlds with this guitar.
Oh, amazing.
All kinds of things you can do. It has a
That
built-
cutaway shape looks really
It's very
gnarly
unusual.
too. That's really neat.
And it's so smooth that you don't even notice it. When you go up above that 12th fret, you don't even notice you're beyond where it would normally
Right.
body and neck meet, that joint right there. It's real smooth. And you can take this neck off. You can adjust the everything about it. The angle, you can move it forward and backwards. Of course, you can do the regular truss adjustment. You could even put a new neck on that if you
Wow.
wanted to. It's pretty amazing.
Well, it's beautiful. And what kind of wood is that on the back there?
This is, you know what? I'm blanking on that wood.
All right,
I'm
I'll edit
so
that out. Sorry about that.
I'm blanking on that.
So we should mention, of course, for those.
But it is wood.
It is wood, definitely wood. For those who don't know you yet, you tour the world repping Martin. Is that correct?
Even though I don't know that wood right now.
Well, that's all right.
I do that.
That's quite all right. How long have you been doing that, Craig? How long have you been?
I've been doing events for Martin for going nearly 20 years, outside events. But as far as this position, I started in 2010 when they introduced another innovative instrument called the performing artist guitar. And these are all guitars that are, the regular Martin owners, the guys, my age and older and somewhat younger, but not the teens and 20s. They're looking for more this kind of guitar.
Okay.
And so that's what this is to compete with. You can play this the way you can play an electric guitar. And that is, when I demo this, I actually have a distortion pedal on it. And so do the other folks that are demoing it, because it's to show that, hey, you can really play. This little thing will do anything. So it's really, really a versatile instrument.
That's great. So now, can I just ask you a question about when you started into this role with Martin, and what is the title, by the way? Is there a title of?
Initially it was clinician.
Clinician, okay.
But I like the word ambassador.
Ambassador, very good.
The ambassador word,
like the diplomat.
That works
Martin.
For me.
So, like, what did you? What was there an audition process, or like how did you apply for the job? And obviously you can play your ass off, but I mean.
Well, thank you, but the story is kind of interesting. I was playing at a place every Wednesday night up in Coopersburg called Abruzzi on Main. I was there for 10 years. And my friend Steve DiDonato owned and operated that place. And one Wednesday night, the upper management team, Chris Martin and the upper management team came in for dinner. The only person I really knew was Dick Boak. The rest of them, Chris, I had said hello to him at car shows and things, but I never, he didn't know me and I didn't know him. Mm-hmm. But he came up to me after a couple numbers and he said, "Hey, what are you doing next week?" I said, "Well, Mr. Martin, what would you like me to be doing?" He said, "Well, we're having a board meeting. I'd like you to provide some entertainment." That's how it all started. And then in 2009, they started developing this performing artist guitar, which again had a cutaway and a very elaborate electronic system in the guitar. We'll leave it at, it's called the RS system.
Okay.
And started giving me the guitar and saying, "Take this out and try it out, come back." Well, the first thing I did was I came back, I said, "Well, the color of the dots on the neck, under the lights on the stage, they disappear." So they changed that.
Whoa.
They changed that. And I'm thinking, wow, these guys are really listening to what artist players, want. And it went on like that, and we're going back and forth. And then the sales manager, Steve, he said, "I want to talk to you someday." Actually, it was he said, "I want you to come up, and we're going to go in there, and I want you to tell me all about this guitar." And so it was just the two of us in the sound booth up there, and I'm demonstrating the guitar and what I could do with it. And little did I know that basically was my interview.
Oh, that's
because
amazing.
Right after that, they asked me to come on board and do this clinician, fill that vacancy. And so I was thrilled. I mean, it's just, I'm over the moon still about that. I'm very sad that right now I can't do anything.
Sure.
Any traveling, but there are some things that we are doing in the background, but we can talk about them another time. But as far as traveling, I've been to nearly 40 countries.
Oh, my God.
Many of them multiple times.
Wow.
And all over the States. And so I miss that. I miss being on the road.
Sure, of course. And now, for anyone who's ever been up to the Martin factory, I know they have that great showroom where they have all of the different models of the guitars and the old models from the old players.
The museum.
The museum.
Yeah.
Have you gotten to play any legendary?
I'm playing them all the time. As a matter of fact, right now I'm doing a special event with somebody that, again, I can't really go into it, but I'm going through those guitars, and I have a favorite in that museum.
Please do tell.
Okay, when Eric Clapton did the Unplugged show,
Yes.
the phones the next day at Martin, according to Dick, who is my very close friend, phones are ringing off the hook. what guitar was Eric playing on that show? It ended up being a 1939 000 42. Now, this is a 000 size. It's a 000 28. 000 42 is the same size. It is that 24.9, that short scale. But the 42 is more elaborate.
Okay.
It's got really nice, a lot of bling. That's just enough bling, not too much. It's really, really pretty. So that is the guitar that Eric was using. So they made a replica of it, but then they made these models, which are the 000 28 EC, the Clapton model. It's the biggest selling signature series guitar that Martin makes. I mean, tens of thousands of these have sold. Lots and lots of these guitars.
I believe that.
I own 2 of them. I just love them. But in the museum, there is a 1939 000 42. And it's just a few serial numbers away from the one that Eric used on that. And it is my all-time favorite museum guitar. The Dreadnoughts are great. The D45 is awesome. But that 000 42, nothing like it.
Oh, I love it.
It's like jumping into a warm pool of water. It's awesome.
Well, let me share with this with you guys that the comments section is very happy. I want to tell you, Daniel Faga says these guys are great. Love the violin. Nyke, I promise we'll talk to you too.
You don't want to hear
All
this.
right.
I've already heard him talk more than he usually does.
We have satisfied the guitar geeks for now. I know they will be back, but we'll talk to the violin geeks out there as well. Want to let you know that Candace Weiss wants you to know that she missed your show on Wednesday the 22nd, so she's happy to be here. She's happy to see this.
Hi, Candace.
Karen Winston, Craig and Nyke, you're sounding fantastic as always.
Thank you.
John Seaton, thanks for being here. He's been at, I think, every Soundbooth session to this point. Thanks for the great music. Thank you, John. Denise Hoffman sounds great. Tina Perry Pastor, always in the crowd. Great sound. Taking screenshots at this one, I bet. She's usually got a camera out. A lot of clapping. Bill Slade, the sound is just filling our living room. Sounds
Awesome.
Unbelievable. Great.
Thank you, folks.
Okay, let's hear more music. Let's hear that guitar do something, Craig. Make it work.
Well, this next song is something that we actually wrote for the Dreadnought Story, which was a Martin movie. We had like 20 songs in the background of this movie. Way in the background, but it was there. They were there. So I named this one 510 Sycamore, which happens to be the address of Martin Guitar.
Boy, you guys play nice together.
Thank you.
How did you meet, by the way? Where?
So, it was we were doing a 1-year anniversary. I forget, it was Widow's Tavern Pub or something like that.
That might have been it, yeah.
Off of 33 and 191, that Slatington exit off of there. And I was playing with a friend of mine, Scott McKenna. And there was a couple bands playing that day, but I think we were the last 2 bands to play on the lineup.
And we're the ones that kept blowing the fuse.
Yeah.
The breakers.
Yeah, they were running off. I don't know if it was a generator. No, it wasn't a generator. It was right off the building, but we kept blowing out the sound. And so I was playing with Scott, and we did a lot of Dave Matthews and jam kind of stuff. And I guess when these guys were loading in, our drummer Don Plowman and Craig were talking, right?
Yeah. We both came simultaneously. We're thinking the same thing. He came to me and said, maybe we should ask him if he wants to play with us. I said, yeah, I know. I'm standing here thinking the same thing.
That's awesome.
So it was great. And we played, I think we only played Watchtower, I think was the only song we played that day. And just had a great time playing and getting a solo. And we were going back and forth, and we'd never had any more words than that. And then after the show, I had to go somewhere, and Craig and Don leaned in. They said, hey, they got my information. They said, and I don't know if it was that day, but they invited me to come to a rehearsal for a music fest, which was only like the next week.
Like a week or 2 later, yeah.
So then I joined them for 4 or 5 numbers on stage for Music Fest that year, still when it was over by the public library in Bethlehem there.
The America
Platz, yeah.
Yeah, the old America Platz.
Yeah. And then that was, I think, 13 years ago, or it would be either 13 or 14 this
It's
August.
been a while.
So,
yeah. He was only like 17 when we met him.
So,
He's 30 years younger than me.
35.
And he's 35. I'm going to be, he's almost 35. I'll be 64.
I
So
am 35.
people go like, what the heck? How does that work? Well, I don't know. It works.
It works, and you sound great together.
Thank you.
So, Nyke, I got a couple questions for you. Let's start off. Where does your name come from? What's the story of your name?
That is a normal question. So I was born Nicholas, but I had a teacher when I still lived in New York who there wasn't a string program at all in this school district. So I was one of maybe 2 or 3 violinists in the entire district. And so I started playing for, like, even when I was in elementary school, they would bring me up to the middle school, and I was invited once to the high school to play for the pit orchestra for the drama productions. And the teacher who was the drama production teacher was actually a friend of my mom because she worked in the district as well, but could never pronounce my name correctly, which is last name is Van Wyk, and I always hated my last name mispronounced. But at this point,
You know how
in
those
my
Dutch
life.
people are.
Yeah, well, we're not Pennsylvania Dutch now.
No, the real Dutch.
We're like Holland Dutch, so it's even worse. So, she's a drama and an English teacher, and she would always say Nick Van Wyk, Nick Van Wyk.
Nyke Van Wyk.
Yep, and my friends would come to my defense at that point. At that point in life, I wasn't too concerned about it, but they would come to my defense, and she said, "I'm an English teacher. It's all about alliteration. It's either got to be Nick Van Wyk or Nyke Van Wyk." And I was like, "Nyke Van Wyk isn't bad." So then I started getting that, and it kind of stuck with the music and everything else. But even my father calls me Nyke.
Oh, that's good. Well, it's unique, right?
Well, they
It's
also
memorable.
call you Nick, though. They do.
Mom will call me Nick still.
They call
My
you
sister will
Nick.
call me Nick. Yeah.
That's right.
People who have known him for, all his life, they know him as Nick.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's kind of
Everybody
flip-flops.
else knows him as Nike.
Yep.
That's And when did you start playing violin?
I was 5 when I picked up the violins.
And did you start with Suzuki violin?
Not the method, but I was using the book. So the method,
Okay.
if you're familiar with Suzuki method, a lot of times they have you start with, you build your own violin
Right.
out of a cardboard, not a cardboard,
Cigar box.
yeah, or a shoebox technically.
Yeah.
So, and then you put like a paper towel, like an empty paper towel roll, that cardboard piece is
Really?
the neck. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they teach you the technical side of how to play violin first. So you're using yarn for strings, so you're not actually making sound. And I think at that age, I was like, no, I'm not playing a shoebox. I'm going to play a violin. So the whole thing started as a dream. I woke up in the middle of the night, woke my parents up, and said I wanted to play violin after I had a dream of playing a violin. Pulled the violin out, couldn't get a single note to come out of the violin, and ragged on them for a week, I guess, and eventually got a violin. And getting a violin for a 5-year-old was easier than finding a teacher who would teach a 5-year-old. So, but eventually found a gentleman named Joe Bishkoff who taught me for a year. He was in the New York Philharmonic, and then he stopped teaching after a year, and then worked with Emily Faxon, who was also in the New York Philharmonic. So I started with them when I was 5 years old.
You drove the first guy a little bit over.
Yeah.
Probably.
And that's a pretty unique looking instrument you got there, Nyke. We were talking about it earlier. Tell the good people, what's it made out of? And
This one is completely carbon fiber, and I just picked it up in December on my way back from doing some performances down in Florida. I have a blue one back here somewhere too. That's Kevlar and carbon fiber that I bought from the same shop. Yeah.
so you got to hide behind it if shit goes down.
Yeah, absolutely. This one is made by Glasser Violins, and they're built in Brooklyn, New York. And I actually like this one a lot. It's acoustic electric, but it still has a very warm tone when it's plugged in. And it's a 5-string, so it's a mix between a violin and a viola. It's got the full scale of both instruments.
Wow.
Yep, and same with the blue one. And then I've had another electric violin that I've played for years, which I've used here a number of times. It's got that little S shape, and that's built out of complete mahogany wood.
And that doesn't look like a violin.
Doesn't look like a violin at all. It looks more like a baseball bat that warped. But I love that, and that's built by you're friends with Eric Aceto. I believe you said you've met him a couple times up in
Oh,
in
yeah,
New York.
we're old buds. We
Old
go way
buds.
back.
Ithaca, New York, so Ithaca stringed
I have
instruments.
no idea who that is.
Maybe that was Dick. So, maybe it was Dick Boak who said he knew him. So
Probably
Dick
Dick.
Boak said.
All right. Well, show us what it can do there, Nyke. What song are you guys gonna play for us now?
Well, this is a song that we wrote on and put on our Valley to the World CD. It's another instrumental.
Beautiful record.
Thank you. Another instrumental, and I want to dedicate this to my daughter, Alyssa. It's just called Song for Alyssa. One day I'll actually write lyrics for it. There's a blues number called Talk to Me, Baby. Put this on our first record. I believe this is 1996. Baby, tell me just how you feel. Won't you talk to me, baby? Tell me how you feel. I've gotta know right now if your love is real. Knew it'd make you happy. I'd buy you a diamond ring. I'd buy you a diamond ring. Just to have your sweet loving, I'd do most anything. Need your loving in the morning, in the night time too. Need your loving in the morning, and in the morning too. All day long, I just dream about you. Sometimes I think you're just playing some kind of game. Talk to me, baby. Tell me just how you feel. Won't you talk to me, baby? Tell me just how you feel. I gotta know right now if your love is real.
That's nice.
Thank you. Little blues.
Very nice, Craig. I'm just looking at your fingers. Are you wearing finger picks? Or you?
Not right now. I have a thumb pick. Sometimes I don't wear any picks. Sometimes I use just a thumb pick. Sometimes I use like Doc Watson and Freddie King, I use just one metal finger pick. Sometimes, like Yorma, I'll use two. It just depends on what we're playing.
Right.
He could be pretty picky.
I can be picky. That's the most I've ever heard him talk on stage. I'll tell you, give him a microphone, forget it. It's all over.
Well, listen, guys. If it's all right with you, I'd like to invite you to play a little game that we do on this Soundbooth Sessions show. It's a recurring segment because if there's one thing that I've found that musicians love as much or more than music, it's food. This is our segment called "Tell Me Something Food," and the question is. The first question is, guys, for each of you, is there a new kitchen skill or recipe that you are working on during this quarantine?
Oh yeah, ask my wife. I'm a big chef. I'm in the kitchen like hours daily. I make oatmeal in the morning. Brown sugar, walnuts, blueberries.
Oh, beautiful.
Start my day off. That takes me at least.
Are we doing pressed oats or rolled oats?
It's the quick oats. It's
okay.
Quick, you put them in the microwave.
Sure.
No, man. Honestly, I'm not. I'm all thumbs. My son, our son, Nathan.
Well, you're not mine.
No. Beg your pardon. My wife. I just stepped right into that. All right. I have a son. His name is Nathan. And Nate is an awesome chef. He's tremendous. And, he got most of that from his mom, but he's taken it to another level as well. He's very artistic. But me, yeah.
Yeah, I can order really well.
Oh, great.
And any skill in the kitchen would be an improvement for me. So I can help you carry the food out.
Yeah.
That's about all I got for the kitchen.
All right.
So,
And I can eat it.
You can eat it, right?
Definitely eat it, yeah.
That's the other, right? You need the musicians, you need the audience, you need the cooks, you need the eaters.
Yes.
So, all right. Now, how about this? As you're touring around the world playing your music, what hospitality items must be in the green room for you to play a successful show?
Shower.
That is not a food item. Disqualified. That answer does not qualify.
Well, I used to be sure that there was a bottle of Jameson in there, but
Good one.
right now I'm not drinking that. So I think I may have to scratch that off the list. That's a long story, but anyway, that was my big thing.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Jameson.
We love it. We've played in Ireland several times, and we visited Jameson. And where did we play? What's not Jameson, but we played
The Slane.
Well, we played the Slane Castle.
We played at
Slane whiskey is also
Slane whiskey is
awesome.
amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So we played out for that. We did play
Guinness.
The Gravity
Guinness.
Bar.
We
so
played
the,
in Guinness.
the Gravity Bar. It's the tallest.
Bar. 7th floor, I
Yep.
believe.
Which I believe, at least when we were there, I believe it was so they consider Dublin a low-rise city.
Yeah.
So it was the 7th or 8th floor was the
About the
Gravity
highest
Bar, and
that
that
you get.
was it was the highest point in Dublin for 7 or 8
Dublin,
stories. Where we're looking at that like it's nothing here, but they had this cool room, and it's a 360 room with all glass. Yep. And on the glass, they have font that points to each building around the city and tells you the significance and the date of when it was. And then they have a big bar right in the middle, and you learn how to pour your own Guinness properly. They give you a certificate. Yeah, it's really, really cool.
What is the way to do it properly? Did you learn?
We got the certificate. I just, when you tap it, it's like the kitchen skill.
Put some in the cup and then drink it.
Yeah, we go to Scotland, so we go to the Scotch whiskey places, and the tastings. Oh, my goodness.
Glenkinchie, we're at Glenkinchie.
Yeah, we were a bunch of different. So we should play a song from that style, which shows off the violin.
All right. Well, while you're tuning, let me just ask the last food question, which is just in all of your travels, is there one single meal that stands out as and where was it from?
Well, for me, the Peking duck in Hong Kong is just out of this world, and I've had it in mainland China, which I didn't care for, but in Hong Kong, they really know how to make it. And if you go to Taiwan, you get something called hot pot, And so you're in a family-style meal, and they have this pot in the middle of the table, and it's heated. And then they bring all the items out, meats, vegetables, all sorts of things, and you pick them up with your chopsticks, and you hold the meat in there for maybe 40 seconds, then you bring it out, and the vegetables a little bit. You do, oh my gosh! And at the end of it, then you drink the broth. And it's just those are two of my favorites.
I don't know if I have a specific meal, but I do remember, and it was actually with Greg, and not to like try to build his ego, roast his ego. No, but actually, there's a great story because we've had a lot of food, and I've been to Ireland 7 times, but I've been to Italy 7 times, but 3 times with you. We did.
Wow.
Or 2 times with you, I can't remember. But one trip we did where we bring 65 guests with us on 2 charter buses. But
oh boy,
some of them are listening in.
Yeah, absolutely. But the first time I went to Italy with Craig was he's spoken about Martin a lot, and they've been very kind to a violinist in a guitar world. But
that'll never happen again. But it happened this time.
They invited me, and Craig invited me to go along to the Sarzana Acoustic Guitar Festival. Mm-hmm. And every night, we were there for 3 or 4 nights, and we had these cool little villas they gave us, but we went to this restaurant every night. We were exhausted, but
we didn't start until 10 o'clock.
We'd get there at 8, and the food wouldn't even arrive until closer till 10 o'clock, and we'd be sitting. But then we'd talk until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Craig had to keep getting coffee, but it was cool.
And grappa.
Grappa was amazing.
Oh yeah.
But it was just cool because the camaraderie and our buddy Maxie from Echo. But they'd keep us entertained, and there was another gentleman there who didn't speak a lick of English, but he was also there playing a Martin guitar. But it was great. We had the same waitress every night.
Oh man.
Just food upon food upon food upon food. It was just it was amazing.
You go wrong with food in Italy?
Yeah. Absolutely.
But you know what? Food in Ireland, food in England. I love English. It gets a bad rap. And Malcolm's listening. He's from London. He'll back me up on this.
I love the food in London.
Food in England is awesome. Bangers and mash. It's different every place. It's really, really great. I love the food, and I think it's misinterpreted this bad English food thing.
That's no good.
I've had good food almost everywhere we've gone, but that night it was just cool because we just closed down the restaurant every night, and it was just kind of like family, even with the restaurant.
That was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for playing Tell Me Something Food. I appreciate it very much. Just a couple of comments here I want to share with you. The Metzgers are watching, and they are loving this. Thank you very much to the Metzgers, some of our big supporters here at Sellersville Theater.
Out on a limb tree service.
The best. If you have a tree that's got to go, give them a call. Bonnie Tallman, loving your music in Billtown Bluesland. Thank you,
Bonnie.
Sellersville. And we should say that Gabe Stillman will be here in just a few weeks. You can see Gabe right here on Soundbooth Sessions.
Nice young man.
That's right, and what a player.
Hell of a player, yes.
Shout out to all of our pals at Music Fest, of course. Barbara Dundor says, so good to see you and hear you, Craig, from Florida.
Yeah.
Be careful down there, Florida. Mm-hmm. Let's see, Marcella Metzger, this is a beautiful song, just like Alyssa is beautiful. That's from back there. Great song and great sound. Thanks, Mark Bruin.
Thanks, Mark.
Karen Snyder, miss seeing all of you Craig and Nyke fans. Great.
Miss it too.
Oh, thank you very much. All right, guys. Give us another one.
We're talking about Ireland and stuff. Here's one we wrote called Where the Shannon Meets the Sea. where the Shannon meets the sea.
Where the Shannon meets and what album is that off, guys?
Where the valley meets the world. Or the valley meets the world.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. Can we do another one?
Yeah.
Or are we running out of time?
No, go right for it, dude. Hit us with another one.
This is something I co-wrote with Dick Boak. And Dick spent 43 years at Martin. Dick is I call him a Renaissance man. I've known him a long time. He's my brother, my mentor, everything Martin guitar. Just a dear, dear friend. We've traveled a lot together as well, doing different presentations. And his grandfather was one of the presidents of the railroad way back for Bethlehem Steel, the PB&E Railroad. And my father worked on the PB&E for almost 40 years. And my dad's been gone since 1989, so he started right the day they got home from, literally from World War II in 1945. So my whole family on my dad's side, 4 generations actually, including my younger brother, were steel workers or railroad workers for the steel company. So I have a lot of connection to that property. So as you know, the steel closed finally in 1995. And it was dormant for a number of years, the property. And then Arts Quest picked it up. And they've just brought it all back to life. And they kept some of those a lot of the old buildings. And the blast furnaces are just awesome. And everything is still there. It's all up there. And many of you have been there, but I'm not telling you anything new, but I have a very emotional, strong connection there. So we call this song Steel Town Refrain. And it's about the rise and fall, and then the rise again of the property. Came here in search of freedom still. They built a growing country with beams of iron and steel. Hopes of our fathers, our uncles, brothers and sons, strong as iron castings, measured out in tons, measured out in tons. Great ladles pour the ingots that roll the giant I-beams for the skyscrapers and bridges that fuel American dreams. On the edge of prosperity, foreign choices were made. Put an end to self-reliance for a rusting USA, for a rusting USA. Shut down the mighty rolling mills that ran for 100 years, and many a seasoned steelman broke down in streams of tears. Pensions were lost
We just can't count the cost. Jobs and faith disappear, driven by greed and the need to succeed. Bethlehem, stop making steel. Bethlehem, stop making steel. Stacks now stand like giants, and the river has been revived. Music, art, and beauty fill a void that is now so alive. Ghosts of old brick buildings remind us of the pride. The ghosts of friends and families let us know Bethlehem is alive. Bethlehem is alive. The South Side will survive. The city is alive. Bethlehem will survive.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Gorgeous, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, speaking of Bethlehem, of course, you'll be up at Music Fest on the 7th, right? How are they doing?
Well, Music Fest is the festival is canceled.
The festival's canceled.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you can't get 1.5 million people together right now.
Right. It's a little tricky.
Yeah, very much so.
But how are they doing it? What's the...
So what they're doing is, I believe it's each night there's going to be one smaller performance at the Town Square stage each night during the normal Music Fest run, which is like the first 10 days of August.
Right.
And it starts July 28th or 29th. It's that Friday, and it goes into the 30, whatever that is.
I think it's the 31st.
You can go to artsquest.org and find it. There's going to be a performance which you have to reserve a table for or a space on the grass. So you want to go to the Music Fest or ArtsQuest website so you can see where you can do that. Or you can go to CraigThatcher.com, and we have the link to the Eventbrite page, which shows how you get these tickets. You reserve the seating, and we're going to play from 7 till 9:30 with a break, and it will be the full band with some guests. I'm excited about some of the things we're doing. We're doing some new music, some things we haven't done before. We're stretching out a little bit, and it's going to be fun. It's because it's going to be a live gig with the full band. Everything we've done has been acoustic, and that really is what I'm leaning towards anymore.
Okay.
Martin being a huge part of that.
Yes.
But it'll be fun to get out there with the full band, keys and drums and violin and guest vocalist. And Chico Huff, our dear friend, will be with us on bass. And Chico is awesome. Dan Sine and Kathy Sine, you mentioned earlier, they're listening. They're our dear friends. And they have a place in Costa Rica. And several years back, actually almost 4 years back, Dan asked me, hey, would you want to come down there and play the Blues Festival? And it's like, well, if you can put it together, we can make this work. Long story short, I did it for 3 years in a row, including this past February, and took various bands. The first year I went down myself and played with musicians from down there.
Cool.
Then the last 2, some of our band members went, and some of them didn't. So I had to take Chico, gratefully take him. He's just an awesome guy and
a killer bass player.
Killer bass player. And so Chico will be joining us for the Music Fest show as well.
Oh, how cool is that?
I'm really happy about that.
Very nice. Well, we of course had a Eric Clapton show booked here at Sellersville Theater in September that will be rescheduled. So
It's our retrospective show, so we'll look for that in 2021.
Absolutely. Now you have a number of these tribute shows. You mentioned an Allman Brothers one before. We got this Clapton one. There's a Cream one. There's a Hendrix one.
You know,
how many others do you have? Others?
we did a Tom Petty at the State show, which was just out of this world. They really wanted another one, but we had to cancel for November. It was a second show was scheduled for this November, but it's gone. You know, sometimes I take some flack for doing these shows but you know what? I don't really care because I like this music. It's music that was so important to me growing up and helped me to develop. And there's a side of me, a part of me that this music will eternally be inside of me. And we just have to get it out there. We don't play tribute to dress, clothing, you know, how a person looks or wigs or any of that stuff, which I'm not knocking anybody who does that. All we're doing is paying tribute to the music.
Right.
And it's not a note-for-note thing. You know, I've been crucified for that as well. I don't play note-for-note stuff.
Yeah.
It's all style, in the style of. And it's no mistaking the style. Now, that being said, you play a song like The Wind Cries Mary, that you play the way it is.
Right.
You don't mess with that song. But think about it. Cream, Hendrix, those Allman Brothers, they never played the same thing twice, night after night. You know, you have the basic bare bones song, and then you improvise. Well, that's what we do as well.
Absolutely. And you do a great job doing it. And just as you said, there's like the musicianship that you bring into it. I feel like that's what separates a cover band and a tribute band is the integrity with which you deliver the material.
Well, I'm glad that comes across.
Well, it certainly
really am.
is enjoyable to watch and listen to. And
Thank
you. Would you mind giving us a taste of some of the Clapton?
I don't mind at all. As a matter of fact, there was a gentleman on Facebook today who said, "Hey, could you please play Layla?"
Well, I'll tell you, while you're getting ready to play that, let me just remind the folks to please, if you've been enjoying the show, which of course I know you have, please take a moment while you're listening to Layla to right-click on the links that I've put in the description of this event. There's also a comment pinned to the bottom of the comment section that has links to Craig's virtual tip jar. There's a PayPal and a Venmo link in there. So click on over there, but right-click and open in a new window so that you don't click away from the show. And please send some love to Craig, some financial love to
Nyke.
Craig and Nyke and to Sellersville Theater. And of course, we would very much appreciate that. And keep your eyes on the Sellersville Theater website for when we announce a new date for the Clapton show.
What do you do when you get low? Nobody waiting by your side. You've been running out of much too long. Guess it's just your foolish pride. Layla, you got me on my knees, Layla. Begging, darling, please lay down. Darling, won't you tolerate mine? Try to give you consolation when you're over old man had let you down. Like a fool, I fell in love with you. Turned my whole world upside down. Layla, got me on my knees, Layla. I beg you, darling, please, Layla. Darling, won't you ease my worried mind? Make the best of the situation before I finally go insane. Please don't say we'll never find a way. Tell me all my love's in vain. Layla, you got me on my knees. I'm begging, darling, please, Layla. Darling, won't you ease my worried mind? Layla, you got me on my knees, Layla. I'm begging, darling, please, Layla. Darling, won't you ease my worried mind? Layla, you got me on my knees, Layla. I'm begging, darling, please, Layla. Darling, won't you ease my worried mind?
That's pretty good.
I didn't expect to play that, but somebody asked, so there you go.
Fantastic, guys.
Thank you, Dan.
Well, friends, let me remind you that that you've been enjoying most of Craig's original material, Craig and Nyke's original material this evening, which is available on their albums, of course, available at CraigThatcher.com, and their of course their Facebook page,
Craig and Nyke.
Craig and Nyke. I hope that you have visited and contributed already. And
We thank you. We thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much
Yes.
for that. Guys, what do you want to do?
Do you want us to end?
I don't want you to end, but it is about that time. Is there something you got the hankering to play?
Well,
I was gonna say, you want to pull out this old, or not the old, but this other guitar you haven't played yet?
yeah.
Actually, I was gonna play my acoustic too. Why don't we do that?
Ooh,
Do that.
Yeah.
maybe we could convince you to do two more.
Are you and Dad got it now? Or?
Yeah.
Do
You know what? We're going to send this out. There's a lady, Candace Weiss, who is listening tonight, and she's a big fan. She loves the violin. She might like a guitar a little bit too, but I'm not sure. But Candace, this is for you. I know you like Celtic music, and so we're going to do a song called The Parting Glass.
While you're getting ready for that, Candace actually asked a question earlier.
There you go.
She asked that she has chronic hand and joint pain, and she's wondering what type of guitar you'd recommend to someone like her who may need something easier.
A nylon
grip
string
or
guitar.
strum.
Yeah.
Nylon string
Yeah.
guitar.
Yeah, you don't have to get a full 2-inch width classical. So a classical or nylon string, typical that type of guitar is typically 2 inches wide. That's a wide fingerboard. That's so you can get your fingers in spacing very nice and easily. You can go with a 1 3/4, and there are several manufacturers, including Martin. It has a nice small body, and it has nylon strings, which are way less tension. Something like that would be really nice for you.
There you go, Candace.
So this is the one, Dan, that I don't have the pickup in. I have to just rely on this mic.
We're both acoustic. We're both acoustic.
Got it.
Yeah, we're both acoustic on this one.
Cool. gentlemen, that was absolutely lovely.
Is that a pretty song? That's a Scottish
That
song.
was fantastic. What was that called?
The Parting Glass.
The Parting Glass.
It's actually a New Year's song.
I loved it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Dan. Thank you for doing this. And Jeremy back here.
Jeremy, let's
Jeremy's
give a shout
everywhere.
out to Jeremy, the cameraman.
Yeah, man.
He's doing a great job up there. I really appreciate having him here. Guys, do you think you could do me the favor of closing with Kashmir?
No.
Oh, all right. That's it. Show's over, folks. Thank you. Good night.
Of course. Just because you're
Thank
so
you.
nice. And folks, again, thanks for tuning in, and we can't wait till we can see your face in the place and not just on the web somewhere. And we just have to get through this. It's going to be next year sometime, probably, when things get some sense of normalcy, but we're being told that it's not going to be like it was. So we'll see. We'll just have to see. Nobody knows the answer.
It's nice having these opportunities, but I think we're getting tired of lenses. But
Yeah, right.
we were looking forward to seeing you all here tonight. And it was only
Very much so.
It was only last week, I think, right? That it came down that things had to change again. So
Yeah, that was a bummer, but
we
hey,
appreciate being here. And again,
Hey, this is the next best thing. So there you go.
best thing.
Thanks for having us.
We're glad to do this.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Welcome. Hey, give our regards to Dawn and everybody, the whole crew here, please.
We
love you
certainly
guys.
will. Thank you. Thank you guys so much, ladies and gentlemen. Craig Thatcher and Nyke Van Wyk, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, if you want to support Craig and Nyke, make sure you follow them on social media. Make sure you visit the website. Make sure you follow them as they perform around the internet and around the world. And thank you for your contributions. Appreciate that very much. Of course, if you want to support Sellersville Theater, please consider becoming a member or a sponsor. A lot of benefits from being either one. We try our hardest year round, year after year, to make it a great relationship, a symbiosis, if you will. And of course, right now, your support is more helpful than ever. So please visit the links that are in the comments section and in the description. Thank you very much for being here. I hope to see you tomorrow night for our Saturday Soundbooth Sessions with Stereo League. Very excited for that. We will see you then. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you very, very much.
Good night.
Thanks all.